All right. Hey, everybody. Sorry we're a tad bit late, 3 minutes late. Let's see if we've got our folks on. Let's see. Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are moving today. Let's see. So we are going to start again, part 2 of our session from last week. So I'm going to wait a few minutes. Oh, and by the way, if we play music, this music is not ours. It is copywritten by whoever we decide to play. And so please forgive us, world of music, if you hear a song and it belongs to somebody else. We are so sorry. But we're going to give credit where credit's due to the copywriters of the world. This music does not belong to us. It is coming live to you from Pandora. And this is from one of our favorite artists, Ronald Isley and the Isley Brothers, who I did not know they sang this. Is this, wait a minute, no, that's not them. Let's see, this is DeBarge. They'll Never Be. So yes, what's up? Good afternoon, Miss Scott, Carmela. I'm so glad that you joined. If nobody else joined, but my girl Carmela, okay, I do want everybody else to join, so y'all don't get me wrong. Please don't write me something and say, darling, we was here too. Yes, you were here, and I'm so glad that you guys are joining us today. We're going to continue our conversation. What's up, Facebook user? I always have to now I have to do this caveat with the music, because last week our live stream didn't post all the way, and that's because I believe because the music we were playing is copywritten from other artists, and so we have to I'm giving verbal credit because I don't know if that'll work or not. But at any event, we're going to get started in like 1 minute. I am going to take some of my branding down so that you guys don't have to see all of that stuff that's going on at the very bottom of the screen here. How have you guys been? What have y'all done for the weekend? What's going on? What did y'all do this weekend? Man, we've had so much going on, you would not believe. And so, but today we are back at it with our special guest. Hey, Jennifer, truly missed your episode live due to professional care. Oh, it's okay. But look, Jennifer, you can go back and you can watch it again. It's still out there. In fact, I moved it from Facebook. I moved it from the YouTube live to Facebook. So if you go back to Kenneth Fuller's page, you will see it. So look, I cannot go any further without welcoming the star. One is God of the show, but number 2 would be Fuller.
Oh, listen.
He is back.
Listen.
Only briefly though. He's back.
Yep. But
You good.
Look, I just had a call from London.
Oh.
We're planning our Paris trip.
1 year anniversary. Can you believe it?
I mean, wow. Yes.
You know when the anniversary is?
November 6th.
Come on,
girl.
Yes.
That was a great day.
Yes.
Y'all make that a federal holiday.
Come on, federal holiday. Somebody hear that? Put it in the atmosphere.
But I tell you, just talked to my good friends, and they were telling me we could fly down to London from Paris, or either catch the they call it Star, and we could see the countryside. Just 2 hours. So they said they'd be glad to take us to Harrods and everywhere I want to show you. So. And they said they're gonna put us up for a night if we want to stay. So we can stay a night in London if we want to, then come back to Paris the next day. So,
everything Fuller always says happens at the speed of relationships. Yes. So thank you. Go ahead, babe.
But look, I just want to have a word. It's well, it may not be encouraging, but it will be encouraging to the person that hears. I was looking at some of my notes. I'm preparing to do a series of teaching on leadership. And I was going through my leadership notes, and I got excited about going through that. But stuck in the middle of my leadership teaching was this word, and it was written. I had someone who dealt with unforgiveness, and they dealt with it all their life. And I asked them, and I was asking them a series of questioning, And they just said, look, just let me put this down in writing, and they left it for me. They're going on to be with the Lord now. But it is something that I think that you need to hear. Because a lot of time people think they're a blessing blocker, that God don't love them, that it's always something. It's always done something, or God don't. But sometimes it's you that are blocking your breakthrough, your deliverance, your recompense of reward, your redemption of things that have happened to you in life. And so I'm going to read this to you. I'm not going to try to expound on it because I want to get Deborah and Q as much time as they need. But let me just read through it. Why is it so hard to forgive? And they wrote it in present tense. I am right and they are wrong because they did this to me and I didn't do anything, not taking responsibility, because they won't acknowledge the wrong they did. And I'm glad you can go back and watch this because you're not taking notes, I know, because I didn't warn you, because they said, I'm sorry, and still act the same way. Unforgiveness becomes a way of life without you realizing it. Suspicious of everyone. No one is authentic. No one is for real. Trust nobody at all. Don't let anyone get close. You have no access to anybody, or give no access to anybody. Keep to yourself that way. You can't be hurt. Keep to yourself. You can't be hurt. Treat people the way they treat you. Results: bad attitude, poor countenance, warped thinking, mean to people, lost ability to communicate, fear of being around people, self-hate. Everything become a challenge. My way is better. Hurt turns into anger. Anger turns into resentment. Resentment turns into bitterness. And that turns into hate. The most dangerous place to be is in one's mind. Oh. That is dangerous. And that is, and whereas that envy and strife, the Bible said, that open the door to every evil work. So if you're dealing with unforgiveness, I hope you heard this. You can go back and listen to it. It is something that you need to get over and get rid of. And Pastor Dahl always said, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and looking for the other person to die. Look, I'm gonna give Deborah and Q this time, and I just want to come in and share a opening word with you. Bye. Wow. See you.
Yeah, that was good. You can't take all that time. But you know what, Pastor Poe, Pastor Deborah, yeah, my caveat for all the people that may not have heard last week. This is my good friend, Deborah Poe. So tonight, for those that know her as Pastor Poe, Pastor Deborah Poe, and they're like, well, now, did Darlene just call her Deborah? I am going to call her Deborah because she calls me Darlene, and that's what we do when you are friends. And so no disrespect. We just want to make sure that we just kind of keep things mellow tonight. This is Godfidence. This is season now 5 or 6. I don't know. 5, 6, maybe 6. I said 5. So I think it actually is something else. But in any event, tonight we're going to continue with our conversation for a few minutes on love now and in the future. For those that watched last week, it was such a great show. So thank you so much, Deborah Poe, for joining last week. You look so pretty tonight.
Well, thank you.
Back there, yes, you are. What is that in the background this week? Do we have?
Okay, that's my house.
Okay. Oh.
I'm in my library, and the farther back you go, that's my living room area. My blinds are up, but you can't really see out back. But yeah,
is that a pool back there we see as well?
No, ma'am, there is not a pool there yet.
Okay.
There is fun, so there is water back there. I don't get in it.
Okay, you don't get in it. Well, look, we are going to go ahead and get things moving tonight. Last week, we had lots of discussion. For those that may not have tuned in, maybe you watched the replay, and I'm hoping that you did. But Deborah Poe, I'm going to let her reintroduce herself. She is a pastor to those that have seen her at World Changers. I've got friends on here that don't go to World Changers, don't know anything about World Changers, don't know the partnerships, don't know what Creflo Dollar Ministerial Association is. So they may not have seen you before. So I'm going to let you do a quick, 1 minute introduction. And then I'm going to start back where we were last week. So I'm going to let you take away, Deborah Poe, introduce yourself, tell us about your church, and we'll go from there.
Oh, okay. My name is Deborah Poe, just as Darlene said, and I do pastor a church in Tampa, Florida. Actually, I'm doing it now with my son. My husband and I started the church over 30 years ago. We actually moved from Atlanta, Georgia, to start a church in Tampa, Florida. When my husband passed in 2017, my son became lead pastor. And I actually became overseer because we do have 2 other churches in St. Petersburg and in a place called Wesley Chapel. So that's my position today. And so, yeah, I have 4 grown-up children married. I have 11 grandchildren. I know. They all come to my house on Sunday for dinner.
Not
just the grandchildren. The parents have to come with them.
So do you cook?
I actually do.
Okay, come on.
Now, my brother helps me now.
Okay.
I'll thank the Lord for him. But okay. Yes, we do cook. Sometimes we go out to dinner, but most of the time food is cooked here. Take advantage of all kinds of slow cookers and barbecue grills, and because this happens right after church service. So everybody in my house to have dinner.
That is so fun. I love that. And I didn't know, I don't think last week we talked about your siblings. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I actually have 3 brothers and 1 sister. One brother, my youngest brother, lives here in Tampa. My sister lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I have 2 brothers who are actually living in Atlanta, Georgia.
Look at there.
Yes.
Okay.
I am from Atlanta. I was born here. So.
Yeah, well, look at there. That is so great. Well, last week, we got a chance to kind of catch up with you. You guys, I've got to encourage you. We can't share everything from last week here right now. What I do want you to see is this time that Deborah and I have together that's live to continue our conversation from last week. So she talked about her ministry, where it's located. We also got a chance to talk about the incident that happened with her late husband, Greg Poe, for those that do know Greg Poe. And we began to talk about, life being in ministry and then losing a loved one, losing a spouse, being completely different than losing another family member, whether it's a sister or sister-in-law or whoever, or mother. It is not the same, is it, Deborah?
It is
nothing the same. I know that you lost your mother. Has it been almost a year? Has it been not been a year yet?
It was earlier this year in April. So, but as you said, it's just different. We talked about how we were trying to describe what it is, but it's difficult to put words to it. But it's definitely not the same.
Right. Yeah. Well, I want to start with, and I think for me, having lost a spouse as well. So you see Fuller left because he felt like, even last week that we got a chance to get a little bit more intimate. He didn't want to intrude on our time together as women. Not that the men aren't invited, because we got some men that watch the show as well. But he wanted to give us the opportunity to ask, me ask you questions. You ask me questions if you like, because our paths crossed, not just because we lost spouses, but because, we were just kind of chatting it up and just kind of connecting through just kind of checking in on you checking in on us. And now that brings us to now where we are. And so last week we were talking about, the incident that happened with your late husband and how you found him, in the bedroom, and then some of the things that you're doing now. But I really want to go back to the question that I left, and you guys just got to go watch the replay. But one of the things that I asked Deborah Poe which is now that life has changed. A lot of things have probably happened. She doesn't know anything that I'm going to ask, nor do I know what I'm going to ask. But I just get to ask. And she's like, okay, what is Darlene going to ask? I can hear her in my back of my head saying, what is Darlene going to ask? Well, I'm going to ask you the one question that I left from last week. So you're a single woman now. That is something to get used to.
Mhm.
And I don't know if we ever get used to it. Oh, you know what? I'm going to say this to you, Deborah Pope. My good friend Gwendolyn Cowan, who is on here as well, she gave me some information I didn't know, and I'm a widowed woman. I didn't know that a widow would be considered a female, and that a widower is a male.
Right.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Oh, and so I got told. No, Gwen didn't really tell me all. She was helping school me. I didn't know. I'm just saying widowers, trying to figure out the past, the present. I don't know. And so I said a few different words. And so, but now that we are in this mode of you being a single woman, at some point you had to make a decision on a lot of things.
Mhm.
One of the number one things for me, I don't know why, I had to take off my ring. I couldn't. The ring was smothering me, and maybe because of how things happened for me, I still felt like I was married. I got a girlfriend that lost her spouse maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. She still wears her ring. My mom lost her husband probably about, it's been 10 years. She still wears her wedding ring. I don't know why. So what about the wedding ring for you? I mean, what was that like?
Well, initially I was wearing it probably, I don't even know if it was a year. I was doing a women's conference. And so I was just talking about, being free. And I said, so you all are not going to have a problem with me, because I know there are people when you are pastors that have a problem with you appearing to move on faster than what they think you ought to move forward in your life. So I didn't initially take it off. At that time, I said, you won't have a problem if I put it on the other hand. So I immediately did that, and I kept
Did you ask someone that?
No, I didn't ask anybody.
Oh, okay.
I just know people have, they have a problem.
Yeah.
They have a problem. You hear the conversation. So I just wanted to, in and public, announce that I'm now moving this ring off of my wedding finger and putting it on the other hand. That was my first step. And so
and why did you do that?
I did that because I felt like I needed to do something new to remind even myself that you have to move forward. You can't stay in the same place, because things are not the same, and you can't pretend that they are, because they're not. And so that was my first thought concerning it. But I continued to wear it because I was like, my ring is pretty. This is nice. I mean, this is a nice size diamond. Why would I throw this in a drawer and just leave it somewhere? I'm going to wear my ring. I actually had 2 rings. I had platinum and I had a gold. So I would swap them out to match whatever I was wearing.
Come on, Deborah Pope.
I mean, that's come from 41 years. I'm supposed to have that.
Oh,
that's what
did you say 41?
Yes, I was married 41 years.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Wow.
It was a lifetime, but at any rate, and then it wasn't until last year. It was last year. I was traveling with some friends, and the husband asked me, why do you still wear your ring? And I said, I don't have it on my ring hand. I'm not showing that I'm. And he said, but no one knows that. People just see you with a wedding ring on. They don't even think about what hand you have it on. And so I said, but
you could be left-handed.
Exactly. I said, it's a pretty ring. I said, and it's a nice diamond. And he said to me, well, why don't you have it put into a pendant and wear it around your neck? And I didn't say anything, but I thought about it, and I thought, why am I wearing this ring?
Huh.
And I had to be truthful with myself. I was like, okay, God, why am I wearing this ring? And it gave me a sense of security. I know it sounds crazy, but I felt like when I went out that I felt safe, because if they thought it was a wedding ring, then I probably wouldn't have weird people approaching me. Uh,
Right.
I thought about also this is, I'm not really by myself. If I keep this ring on, at least I feel like,
Right.
I don't know how to, it's
Belong
just,
to somebody.
yeah, that I belong to somebody. I'm not just out here, because as you said, you see people walking around, you see married people walking around, and I didn't envy them anything. I just, in my mind, I was thinking, boy, I hope they understand how important it is to show expressions of love while they are together. And so, yeah, so it was kind of a weird false sense of some type of
Yeah.
security. I belong to somebody. I'm not just out here by myself. And I laughed one day because I thought, I don't even know how to be single. And I told somebody need to write a book or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
'Cause,
been I've been married since college.
wow. So, we had mentioned last week, and I'm saying some repeated things because I know we have some people on here that have lost spouses, and so I can remember that time when I would want to pick up the phone and call David and say, "Oh, guess what?" And I was like, "Okay, I forgot. I guess I can't share that. Let me just
Hey,
put down my phone." Those moments where you're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened to the person? What happened to me feeling like and looking like that I'm married and now is everybody looking at me wondering what am I thinking or how am I feeling?" And but how long was it before you took off the ring again?
oh, I just took it off. I stopped wearing it last year.
So how long it had been from the
Four,
time past?
4 years. And I just wasn't thinking about it. I just thought, this is my ring. It's nice. I'm gonna wear it. And so I didn't think it had any type of. I didn't think it had
What
any
are
change.
you saying you have been wearing it for 4 years?
Mhm. I get up every morning and I would just put it on. But in my mind, it just was, to me initially. It seemed like it was just something that I open up my drawer and I see the ring and I'm like, I'm not leaving this ring in this drawer. I'm wearing this.
Oh,
I'm wearing this ring. I'm wearing this ring. And so, but I did have to I had to give it some thought. And I did. And I thought, so why are you, I had to ask myself if there's a deeper meaning behind me putting that ring on.
yeah. Well,
And
there's a few things that you've said that are very interesting. One, let's talk about what your family thought about you taking off the ring or moving on. You mentioned that some said, well, that they really wanted you to maybe even still be in grief mode or to not move on so quickly, and they hadn't moved on. That's what was happening, especially with Fuller and I. We talked about that.
mhm,
He
mhm.
had moved on too fast, and he did. He didn't move on. I don't mean it in the sense that he forgot
Yeah.
about Dean, but he
Yeah.
moved quickly on to, oh, there's this Darlene person, and I'm just thinking that we're friends, and his family was like, well, hold on, and then later on we came back and we started doing confidence. We started talking about Fuller explained why he did what he did because he loved Gene. He had done everything,
Mhm.
and then I had to come back and then say. But Fuller, you also have to understand there are people that didn't understand the moving forward. Wasn't that you've forgotten? It's just how you were perceived. And so how did that look for you?
I didn't have many people to give me their opinion, other than the fact that sometimes they would say, um, the person that I might be attracted to, they said they got to fill some pretty big shoes. That's what people would say to me. And my comment was, I'm not looking for somebody to fill
Right,
his shoes. That would not be fair. That would
right.
not be fair to a person that I'm possibly would be interested in,
Yeah,
because why would you ever compare someone with someone else? It probably and should be a different experience altogether. And
yeah.
that's a path that I would go down. But my children didn't really say anything to me concerning it. And of course, you know, those are the people you're concerned about more than any, as far as I'm concerned, more than anybody else.
Right.
So they never actually said anything to me, but I would just hear comments about people who moved on. And I thought, so that's how y'all feel about people. And I would try to explain, you know, these are adult people. And
Mhm.
some people know that they want to be married. And I believe that that's what was going on with, and I always call him Bishop Fuller. That's his name to me. Fuller,
Uh-huh.
his name. So,
Yeah. Right.
uh, and I felt like that's, you know, that's his choice.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, you're crossing over too many lines.
Yeah.
But I would hear the comments, you know,
Uh-huh.
of people talking about other people. Let me put it
Yeah.
that way.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't,
and we knew. For
I
us, we were
can't,
good
I,
because we knew they was talking about us.
I can't believe, and I actually told the church when I did tell them about the ring, I said, this does not mean that I did not love my husband. That's ridiculous. I said, but God, he is not here. And I have to come to that conclusion, and you have to come to that conclusion as well.
You said that in the pulpit?
Yes.
Wow, come on, Deborah Poe. But we have to, I mean, you had that platform and everybody look, you up there ministering and you know they looking here.
Hmm.
They look, you got your hands on the pulpit and they looking, where the ring go? What's happening today? You
Well,
know,
yes. So I just come to find, well, I already know you can't live your life pleasing other people, and you
yes,
can't live life trying to make other people happy,
right.
because it just will tire you out. And besides that, people make themselves happy or sad. That's my thought. It all depends on what you're thinking that causes you to think one way or the other. So yes, and I thought it might be weird if I took the ring off, but it actually wasn't.
Yeah,
I was
well,
yeah,
good.
okay.
Yeah, good for you. Well, look, I'm switching the gears on you.
Okay.
Deborah Poe. So, what are some things that people have said to you that have been the most interesting? Let's start with, because we only have a few more minutes. It is 6:30. I know you're glad that the time is coming because you know I got questions for you.
Okay. Okay.
So tell me, like, what is the strangest thing that people have said to you? Let me just start. I'm starting at a high level that
Okay.
people have said since the loss. I'm not talking about dating. I'm just talking about what is something that people have said to you in relationship to where you are right now.
Um, let's see. Strange things people have said to me. You know what, darling, it's really kind of interesting. People hardly ever say strange things to me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Uh, uh, I think maybe it was a month after Greg passed, somebody walked up to me and said, "So are you getting married again?" And I thought, wait, let me just take in what just took place.
Are you getting married?
Let me take.
Just
Oh,
process where I am.
I've had people to ask me, so do you think you'll marry someone your age or someone younger? Uh, I've I've had that question asked to me, and uh,
You know, you and I were talking just in our own private conversation. And this is for this look, Deborah Poe. This is for the studio audience.
okay,
This is like a big studio audience. But we make this show whatever we want it to be.
okay,
But this is for everybody. When in doubt on what to say, not to say anything at all.
you
Just
don't
the mere fact of you just calling and just said, I just wanted to hear your voice.
yes, and that's very very true. Um, but yeah, people were very encouraging. My children were very encouraging to me.
Uh,
Uh, I I tend to, in my teaching and in my ministering, I talk about your mind a lot, what you're thinking.
uh,
And that came from my mother, because she always told us there was nothing good or bad. It's what you think of it.
yeah,
It's no tag until you put it on there.
right.
So I'm always monitoring what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
When I say that, it doesn't mean I don't have crazy thoughts. I'm like everybody else. The thoughts come, but I try to monitor my thoughts. Try to monitor the things that I look at. I try to monitor the things that I let, and well, you know, all the things that you're supposed to be doing. And
All the
no,
things scholars talked about that happen in the mind that
ex-
we're so busy with what our mind is saying to us that
mhm.
we know really no earthly good for ourselves.
Absolutely. So, it's everybody is challenged. You know, I had to go through the thing of, just like you said, picking up the phone and realizing, oh, that's right. So I just deleted the, I just deleted his name out of my phone.
Yeah.
Uh, and I just started trying to take measures to move forward. I went out and bought myself a photo album because
Uh,
my pictures, just about every picture I have of myself includes Greg. So when sometimes people ask me, why don't you send me a photo of yourself?
yeah.
Uh, he was in just about every photo that I took. So I told myself I have to start building new memories.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
I up a photo album. I said, I'm going to start filling this photo album with new memories. I got to start going different places because Greg was the one who planned everything, the
Wow.
trip, where we were going. And so I just remember coming home one day and thinking, it sure is quiet in this house. And, you know, in my mind, I thought,
Right.
well, why don't I turn the television on? Because Greg always had the television on in
Right.
some way or another. So making adjustments to what that person brought to your life,
Uh,
that was the thing that I needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Do you
so,
do you feel some sense of, okay, this is no disrespect for our previous relationships. What it says though is that you still feel some sense of you finding yourself. There's a little bit of freedom in you discovering a world that you've been married for 41 years since
mhm,
19. Well, you guys were dating in college, right?
yes, we were
And
dating.
so all the time it's just been you and Greg Poe.
Absolutely. It's almost like you grew up and matured together.
Right.
And
Right.
so now um, I told myself, you know how you tell yourself, I don't know whether you did it or not. When I was married, there were sometimes I was like, man, I wish I could just do what I want to do.
Uh,
And I don't
right.
have to ask you about, you know, what I'm going to do, but I always have to consult you because, you know, we are together.
Right.
And I laughed about it because there were times when I was thinking, man, I wish I didn't have to make this decision by myself. I
I know.
wish
No.
somebody else here to give me their opinion about something. What do you think about what I'm doing? And for me, um, my all my relationships were with friends or married. All of my relationships with my friends, uh, all of them were married. I didn't have any single friends.
Uh,
So, you know, I had to go through the question of, so how do I interact with my friends now? Those are the questions that I had. How do I interact with my friends because they're all married? And will they feel weird around me because they're so accustomed to Greg being with me? Will they feel uncomfortable? Because we went to vacations together, we went to conferences together. I mean,
everything.
all of our children came up together. So I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable and feel like they had to do something special
Yeah.
for me. So I was very happy when we took our first vacation together and they were like, Deborah, you're going? I'm like, yeah, I'll go. And so I told them I didn't want them staying up late at night with me because we would sit up and just talk no matter where we were, Mexico, wherever we were, just sit up and just have conversations. And I thought, I don't want them staying up extra long for me because I'm going to be leaving the group and going back to my room by myself. So I was really kind of torn between I hope they feeling okay because I'm really all right. I'm really okay. Because I'm okay. I know I'm okay. Will we still be friends? And then too, let me just say this, Darlene, the idea of thinking if and when I meet someone, will my friends accept them?
Ooh, that is a good topic and a good place for us to stop today. Because you know we're going there next week. Because I'm going to ask for your permission for us to do a part 3, Deborah Poe. Please.
Sure, I can do that.
Yes, because the time has drawn very near, and I want to hear everything about the dating scene for Deborah Poe and
Okay.
what that is, has been, will be, And will your friends in your thinking, will they accept the Darlene Quincy's to come along, the whoever, Jethro, whoever, this stud's gonna come along, this Denzel guy, whoever he is, will your friends be, accepting, or is it gonna be weird? That is a great, really good place for us to begin next week. I know everybody wants to hear that and not hear your tea, not tell your business, but wow, what a great journey this has been. I didn't know I learned some things today, but you started it, Deborah Poe. I mean, you actually stopped in a perfect place because that's where I want to pick up next week on the dating scene. And so I'm so glad that you joined us today yet again. And this has been really a great topic. I love listening to you because your wisdom, not only as a pastor, but as a woman. And there are people here tonight that have gone through the loss of a spouse and now are single or have been single. And they're in a place that you are at right now, but they need to hear somebody else's journey that is also experiencing this new life of dating, or maybe old life for them, which is continuing with dating and what do I do next? And so I'm excited for us to start on part 3. I hear Fuller. He's coming down the steps. I don't know if he's trying to come down here to say something, but I'm so excited. What you gonna say, baby? You coming down here to say something? Look, you hear, listen, look, Deborah Poe.
You got to make room. You got to.
Man, I'm just upstairs. Just wow.
He been watching.
I'm gonna start a new series called Confident Women. With you and Deborah Poe, the host. We got a new podcast. We're gonna have a new podcast.
I like that. We're gonna make Deborah Poe. We're gonna be like Hoda and Jenny. We'll have Deborah and Darlene. I like that. Q. And so
Q and D.
You have anything else you want to add tonight?
Absolutely nothing.
Was great.
Absolutely. It was amazing, awesome, dynamic.
Full of an encouragement.
Two of my favorite people. I mean, come on.
It was great. I love it.
Like Deborah said last week, we've been on each other forever.
And I continue to learn more.
I met them when I met Pastor Dollar. That's been about 40 years.
Wow.
Oh, that's right. It was about 40 years.
Yeah. And I tell you,
when she had kids like that, bum, 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 bum.
And she don't look like she got 40 years.
No, at all.
And was married for 41 years.
No, at all.
So, but look, I asked her if she would come back next week.
Of course.
She was like, yes.
I mean, Deborah, you just don't know the impact you've made.
Wow.
Only eternity will be able to tell us the impact that you've made on this broadcast.
Wow.
Only eternity.
Well,
Really.
Just thank you for, I appreciate your having me. I appreciate the probing questions even. It causes me to think when
That's cute.
oh God, what else did she ask?
Oh, I got some more.
Hey, that's cute. I mean, think about it. I live with her. Have mercy.
Yes. I got questions. I've got inquiring minds want to know. So since they won't be able to ask you, I get to ask. So
I really
and look, Deborah Poe, next Monday will be October the 31st.
right.
Now, and so me and Fuller and I are getting ready for our 1-year anniversary. And that's going to be that we're going to Paris on November the 2nd, the following day after we meet. What is that?
November 1st.
November the 1st.
And we'll land the 2nd.
We'll land the 2nd. But we're going to continue our segment next week on Monday. And then we got to pack up and get ready to go to Paris. And we're going to actually do our following Monday, Confidence from Paris.
That's great. That is awesome. I believe you're going to love it.
Yes.
Paris, I believe you're going to love it.
Yes, we will.
I was on the phone and they told me to tell you hello. John Paul and Abigail from London.
Oh, really? Oh my
goodness. And I called them and they returned my call. And it's midnight over there when they returned my call. And I think we're gonna catch a train down for stay one day in London and come back. I want to take Darlene to Harrods and street. I know she'll love it.
Yeah, we should coordinate this with Deborah Poe so she can go too. Look at here. Deborah Poe have been to London and Paris and Italy and all of that.
I don't know. Can y'all put me in a suitcase? I mean, I'm small.
Yeah, I might invite a mystery friend
Yeah,
for
come
her.
on. That's what I'm saying. Come on now, Deborah Poe. Wait till next week. You guys, we got to get out of here. Thank you, Deborah Poe, for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys next week on 6 p.m. Confidence again with Deborah Poe, part 3. Love you guys. Love you, Deborah Poe. See you guys later. Y'all take care. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.